Hello, this is Danny Doyle, and join me in eerie silence, because the music doesn't loop, for Interlude 3. So there are only 4 maps left in the game. So the units for Interlude 3 don't really present themselves as, like, projects, so much as, like, or long-term team members, so much as what does your team have missing as we approach the final stretch of the game. And let's talk about the first one. And what he asks is your team missing good weapons? He brings you the S-rank sword, Vague Caddy. There is a second S-rank sword, but it is obtainable through a secret event. This one, 12 might, 3 defense when equipped, and then extra crit boost. And he also brings a crit boosting axe, the Killer Axe. Other than that, his combat is, like, it's acceptable. Like 14 strength, 18 speed, very good offenses, 13 defense, 9 resistance. It's not the greatest mix bulk, but it's acceptable for this point in time. It's like flunky stuff, right? When I recruited him, I never used him. I just used his items, and I feel like that is the common experience. He feels like, of all of the units, he offers you the least outside of inventory. Which there's always one who does that. You know, Guru offers you a good inventory. What's his name? Arkel offers you a good inventory. There's people who are here just for inventory, and Strontium isn't quite that. Like, it's not like he's just meme tier in terms of stats, but you don't really have a huge need for a mediocre hero during the last 4 maps of the game. I think you mostly got your core combat members and even your filler combat members filled out. So Strontium, generally I tend to think, is not the worst of the units here, but like the least pickable, because I guess Vague Caddy's nice. I don't think I ever used the Vague Caddy the one time I picked him. Strontium's not especially good. It's more his weapons, and that is in his description. Like, he's a merchant with a penchant for rare blades. Weirdly, he's marked as the boss of the map. I don't know why that is. Next we have Cloth Hilda. And Cloth Hilda is the late game Falcon Knight, but unlike the Junos of the world, she's actually competent. Her combat stats are quite good. 19 speed, 14 strength, very good offenses. 18 skill means she's rarely going to miss, which you've seen the hit rates we have against some bosses. Very much appreciated. 12 luck, 10 defense, 16 res, like, just all around pretty good. But the biggest thing she offers is she's an 8-move flyer for free. Maybe you didn't pick up D Sunwing. Maybe you didn't train the other Pegasuses. Maybe you didn't train Josie. Like, this game does not offer you a boatload of flyers, so the opportunity to get another promoted flyer is pretty nice. And she does also come with the Killer Lance and the Silver Sword, which are good inventory items. But overall, as a unit, I like her. She is filler combat, but like slightly better filler combat than Strontium, and also on wings. She's not going to blow your socks out of the water in terms of like her combat performance being exceptional, especially because she starts with A-rank swords and B-rank lances. So she's never getting an S-rank in anything, and especially not in lances. Like, you could maybe get S-rank swords on her if you focus super hard and also do the, like, there's a burst of weapon experience event you can do. But it's unlikely. It's unlikely. It's very unlikely. And yeah, as a result, she ends up using just generic silvers, generic killers, generic braves, stuff like that, which I won't turn down. You know, you who can use those quite well. It's better filler combat than Strontium, and it's a better utility, like flyer utility than Strontium. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I very much like this unit as well, but she's not going to blow your socks off. She's not suddenly redefining the meta, especially because she shows up so late. But she's nice while she's around. Someone who will probably blow your socks off is Keiho. Yeah, I think she's named after cheese because she cheeses the maps. These stats are pretty nice, right? They're okay. But we all know the real reason is this. it's Nime. This is just Nime. Like, she's just Nime. But Nime is a very fucking good unit. And if offered the opportunity to get Nime, like, I feel like KO is, like, the best of these 5, and kind of slam dunk one of the picks. Even more so than Flint, because Flint, like, doesn't really have... I mean, I guess KO 17 is, like... I have better warpers, but, like, I'll always take a free warper. A free warper is very good, and again, at this stage in the game, I have a lot of powerful pre-promotes in a way that I don't, and you typically don't, during Intermission 2. Not having to spend a seal on her to allow her to do, like, a tiny, minuscule amount of combat is also nice. I really, really like this unit. She also brings you physics, sleep, and a secret book, so, like, she comes bearing gifts, and I appreciate all of those gifts. Aldrich is not an S unit. This is the 3rd tier pupil, the final tier of pupil, right? His stats are mediocre. Like, 15 speed and 12 magic. 19 skill, he, again, never fucking misses, or at least, you know, rarely misses. And no bulk to speak of, like, 8 defense, 5 resistance, 35 HP, like, no thank you. Aldrich's big thing that he offers is not just, like, subpar magical flunky combat. He is the only unit of these bunch who's realistically able to reach A rank in a tome of your choosing. He won't ever reach 2, probably, without, like, excessive amounts of grinding, but if you haven't been using Vivek, you can use S-rank Anima on him. If you haven't been using Esperus, you can get S-rank Dark on him. If you haven't been using any of the light users, you can get S-rank Light on him. Or if you just want a second user of the S-rank tomes. The problem with that is you don't necessarily want a second user of all those tomes. Oftentimes you could do trading stuff, and you can buy extra of some of the S-ranks in a shop in Chapter 19. But aside from potentially Lunar Cleave, which is very strong, I don't necessarily know that, like, oh, you give him 22 magic to use Judgment, but the real appeal of plus 10 magic on Judgment is, like, the extra staff range. He doesn't have staves. You could either do, like, crit strats, I guess, with the S-rank Thunder Tome, or you could do, like, tanking strats, and, like, Vivek can tank a little bit with plus 5 to his bulk, right? And, like, Aldrich has slightly better bulk, especially because he's not going to get doubled by everything, unlike Vivek. But it's still... You, at this point, have S-rank users, unless they're side-by-side with Aldrich. He's either going to be taking their combat and making it worse, or doing very, very suboptimal combat, and that's with you training his ranks up. That's with you, because he's not there yet, right? The fact that he's close is nice. If you started with all S's, potentially, like, I mean, not just potentially better, like, definitely better, but, like, it elevates him quite a lot. The fact that he has to work to get there means that, at the very least, next map, but potentially for multiple maps, he doesn't have the ability to contribute with these incredibly powerful tomes, and the light one in particular, it just feels wasted on a unit who can't take advantage of the plus 5 staff range. The Anima and Dark ones, like, Dark in particular doesn't care about his stats, other than, like, accuracy. But yeah, I'm not super high on Aldrich either. Maybe, from my analyses, you might be getting an idea of who I plan on picking. But let's talk about the meme unit first. So Delano... First off, he has a Juna Fruit that reduces level when you take it. He's a level 15 Cavalier, does not come with his own promotion item. Hope you saved one. And he's bad. I mean, like, 13 strength, 11 speed is, like, it's bad. It's bad. Even when accounting for promotion bonuses, like, you spend a Master Seal on him, and then you get just, like, a Paladin. But the thing that this is covering up that you might have seen, he has 0 luck, and even in vanilla, a 0% luck growth. This guy not only demands a Master Seal from you, but also demands a Hoplon guard, and he doesn't even offer you a particularly good stats, and he's not really an Est as well, because he doesn't really have good growth rates, right? He's just super, I mean, not even super underleveled, you just have to promote him, like, he's level 15, he's not going to be gaining super fast experience gain just because he's unpromoted 15, right? He'll be gaining, like, a little bit faster than people around him, but it's not like he's joining at, like, level 5 or something. I guess it is nice that he can instantly go Paladin or Great Knight if you hate yourself. But the real appeal of Delano is he has a secret event in the final map where he gets a personal weapon that is effective against the final boss. It has 1 durability, and it functionally, I think it does half of the boss's HP, which is pretty good, all things considered. There is also a weapon that can do half of the boss's HP, but also is around before the final map, and can be used by people other than Delano, and deals half of any enemy's final HP, and that is Lunar Cleave, which I wouldn't say strictly outclasses Delano, because Lunar Cleave deals half of current HP, whereas you could combine it with Delano to kill the boss for free. But it is certainly not a great case for him, shall we say. That his one gimmick, the final map thing, is somewhat replicable by other units. So, I didn't make any secret of it. I'm fairly certain you know exactly who I'm going to be recruiting. We are picking Cheese. And we are picking Falco. This is one of the more straightforward intermissions, TBH. Delano, like, seems tempting from a zero growth perspective, because I don't have, like, raised units to be boss killers, but as it turns out, there's some good pre-promotes in this game. Delano's kind of unnecessary. Funny meme. Honestly, I think the funnier meme is the zero luck. I've used him before, and when I used him, I got his weapon, but then I didn't even use it. I killed with Shale, so yeah. That's intermission 3. Kind of anticlimactic, but yeah, that's that. Join me next time for the Champions Road.